A big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. So welcome to Iceland in the winter. It's absolutely fantastic. So it's about an hour after sunrise, it's actually 11 AM and you can see there's still colour in the sky. In this series what I'm going to be doing is talking a little bit more about compositions in snowy conditions like this and trying to find simplicity in what can be quite complex landscapes. But I have to say, it makes it easy when it looks like this. What an amazing place Iceland is. Morning everybody, and great to see you all again. So we are in Iceland and specifically the Black Church, which you've probably seen on loads of photos, and it's freezing cold, so windy, but fingers crossed it's going to clear up tonight and we're hoping to get an aurora. At the moment we're just waiting because a busload of people have just arrived, so all our shots that we've composed I've got some people in them, so I thought I'd take a quick second and do a video. So I'm going to shoot the church from two different angles. I'm going to take a long lens and go quite close in and sort of compress the background, mountains and the church, and get a really nice shot. And I found a really good area where the background mountains and the church roof sort of look about the same. And then we're going to do another one with a really wide angle lens, for probably a 16mm lens, and get closer in. And then just think about the lines of the church as well. And then we're off to Kirkjufell and hopefully get a sunset. So I'll probably catch you again there. So it's the end of the first day. It's really a scouting day today. We're not going to take a huge amount of amazing photos, but actually, having said that, we've arrived at Kirkjufell, hope that's how you pronounce it, and there's some amazing lenticular clouds. They just look absolutely fantastic. You can probably just see them behind my right shoulder here. And I'm going to swivel the camera around in a minute just to show you the rest of it. But what we're doing is we're scouting a little bit for maybe tonight when there might be an aurora. Probably won't be, but I think there's going to be some clear skies, so we might come back out and see what we can get. And also for tomorrow as well, because we're going to be in the same location tomorrow taking shots here. So it really is fantastic. So I'll sort of swizz the camera around a little bit and you can just see what it's like. It's amazing. Behind me, this is the amazing waterfalls at Kirkjufell, and the frozen solid. It looks absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything like it. And the clouds over here, we've just seen the most amazing cloud formations as the clouds set. Now the really incredible thing on this waterfall, as you can probably just hear in the background, is the water's flowing over it. Now I'm going to try and, I think it's quite thick, and the water is flowing through in the inside of the waterfall here. I'll try and get a close-up of it so you can see it, but it's so amazing. And you can see by just me stood here just how high it is as well. What an incredible location this is. Oh, I've never seen anything like it. Photography is so much fun, honestly. It's -2 with a wind chill of around -13. So anybody watching this in sort of America that's just had the polar Arctic, it's practically like on your summer holidays. And we're here at Kirkjufell on a workshop and it's absolutely beautiful. We have got some amazing cloud formations behind. Now, to get up here has been fairly tricky because it's quite icy, so I've got these really cheap sort of crampons that fit on my walking shoes, which are not great for going proper mountaineering, but for just walking across a few icy paths they're really useful. And we're set up in the classic spot here. We're going to find some other compositions later, and it's the blue hour, which is around about an hour before sunrise, and as you can see it's getting light quite quickly. So we've got here nice and early to try and get a good position. There's a fair few other photographers here now. Last night we were here doing the aurora, which went quite well. I'll put some photos just before I show these, just to show you how they went, but it is really amazing. Now the tricky thing is trying to find a composition, because unlike the summer where you can see the river sort of going through the foreground, we've got the amazing waterfall on the left hand side here, but it's sort of not that well balanced, so I'll try and find a composition that works and maybe talk about that in a minute, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to take some shots before sunrise, because as you can see with the clouds behind, they're catching the light, because as the sun just comes up over the horizon and it's very shallow because we're so far north, then it's catching the clouds a long time before sunrise. So it's a good idea when you're further north in the world to go out a little bit earlier to get the best conditions. Okay, hopefully we've got that. I'm going to hold my tripod for a bit now because I'm a little bit worried it's going to fall over, and see what we can get.
It's only for the better. They say we're gonna be alright. It's only for the better. Thoughts keep me up all night.
So I've come down a little bit lower to try and get a better angle on the waterfall. So I came down from there, you can see my tracks, and now this gives a much better angle on the waterfall, and it also means that I hide the bridge at the top, which wasn't particularly nice. So I've got my 16 to 35mm lens on. I've got it set at f7.1 because there's nothing really in the foreground, and I've got it at 16mm, so to get everything in focus is really easy. I've got it focused on Kirkjufell. The only thing to be a little bit careful of is the exposure, because when you're using the metering system of the camera, then it doesn't expose snow correctly, it sort of underexposes for it. So I've just got it set on manual or aperture priority, and then just dial in some exposure compensation. So you can see the clouds here now are just amazing, and I don't actually know what time it is. I'll check. So it's about 40 minutes after sunrise, so it's 20 to 11. And we've still got, you know, gorgeous golden light, and what we're waiting for is just the light to come on the top of Kirkjufell, and hopefully it'll light it up like you can see on the mountains just over there behind my shoulder. And so I've got everything set up, it's just a question of waiting now. We're going to have a chocolate bar.
Please tell me this is right. It's only for the better. But now it's time for the hard, and then it's gonna get worse. You know it never.
So sometimes, even when you're in an amazing location, it's good to have people just to give an idea of scale. And there's two people over there that quite handily have got yellow jackets on just to go with the Instagram trend, and they've just been stood there, and I've just been taking some photos of them and waited until they've just got into a, you know, what's a nice pleasing composition, and I've just got a little bit of their reflection in the ice below and Kirkjufell in the background. Now everybody's up taking the waterfall, if you could just see up there. Sometimes the compositions are in different locations, and I wanted to try and get something just a little bit different. So I've taken a picture of them. In fact, they're in a good spot again now. So I'm just going to grab that. You can just see the reflection over there. So by getting them in the photo, it still makes a really pleasing landscape photo, but adds scale to it. And it's often difficult to show how big mountains are when you're in locations like this. It's the same with houses or churches or anything like, you know, small trees, big trees that look small, to give an idea of how big this mountain is, because Kirkjufell is huge. It's this massive volcanic looking mountain, although it's not a volcano, that just looks so stunning here in the snow. Okay, my hand's freezing cold now. Put the camera down.
Voices tells me to. It's only for the better. I'm leaving you, and then it's gonna get worse. You know we're never gonna get better. We can sink deeper in the. We can sink deeper in the dirt. And then it's gonna get worse. You know we're never gonna get better. We can sink deeper, deeper, deeper in the dirt. We fight, we cry, we love, we lie, we burn and now can't find the light.
So as you can probably see, I'm not in Iceland anymore. I'm actually skiing in Maribel on my family vacation. But I just had to do some final editing to the video before I upload it tomorrow. And I realised I hadn't done an outro to the video, so I hadn't said bye, and I've got to say bye. But before I do that, I just want to mention the sponsor of this video, which is Squarespace. And as I've said many times before, they make it possible for me to go to some great places and get some great footage and do some great videos for you guys. So thanks a lot to Squarespace. And if you need a website or a domain, then make sure you go to squarespace.com. And if you're ready to make a purchase of a website or domain, then go to squarespace.com/Nigel for 10% off. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the Iceland video. I took some great shots. In next week's video, I'm going to be talking all about editing sort of snowy scenes, which is a little bit tricky to get the white balance right and the exposure right. So I'll talk a little bit more about editing those in Lightroom, and I'll show some prints. Okay, until next Sunday, bye.